Belonging isn't something you achieve. At least not the kind that matters. The kind you were made for. We're taught subtly, constantly, that belonging is conditional. That if you work hard enough, perform well enough, prove yourself enough, you'll eventually earn your place. But the truth is, it's impossible to deserve belonging. You just are, or you aren't. And the belonging that actually sustains a life isn't something you win. It's something you live inside. There are spaces where achievement decides belonging. Schools, careers, awards, or institutions. I remember walking into the interview day for the Goodnight Scholarship at NC State, a full ride, and feeling utterly and completely out of place. Everyone seemed so polished and certain, like they already knew they belonged there. Eventually, they decided that I did belong. They gave me the scholarship. But that kind of belonging is temporary. It only lasts for a season. It lasts as long as the performance does. And that's not that kind of belonging we're talking about. I'm talking about the kind that holds when achievement disappears. When the resume is irrelevant, when you have nothing to prove. I've been blessed with a deep sense of belonging in my family. That doesn't mean that it was perfect. There were moments and experiences where I felt like I needed to achieve worthiness to be fully accepted, or where contribution felt tied to love, at least a little bit. But even then, I never truly believed that I could be cast out. Shamed, maybe. Corrected, definitely. But removed? No. The bond was stronger than the shame. And that distinction matters. Because knowing you belong, even when you fail, changes how you move through the world. Now that I'm a parent, that feels even more important. Contribution does matter. Being a helpful, engaged member of your family and community matters. That's how we support each other. That's how we build something sustainable. But there is a season for all things. There will be days you're sick and someone else carries the load. Days that maybe you have a baby and your friend comes over to do your laundry. Days you fall literally or figuratively, and the people who love you help cover the cost. During those seasons, you are not worthless. You are not failing at belonging. That is belonging. When one suffers, we all carry the weight. When one succeeds, we're all lifted higher. Belonging is not something you achieve. It is identity. We belong with people. We belong in places. I don't believe we belong in every room. There are spaces we shouldn't enter, physically, emotionally, spiritually, just to prove a point. But there are also places no one should ever convince you you don't belong. Not a room, not a calling, not a way of being, not even yourself. You know what those places are, and you should guard them fiercely. Nature understands belonging intuitively. Flowers don't earn the privilege to bloom. They don't justify themselves. They just do, because they're flowers. Birds don't pass a class before building a nest. They belong in the trees, and their instincts tell them so. When I brought home my first baby, I remember thinking, who authorized this? Like, I didn't get certified. I could mess this up so easily. And then slowly over time, I came to realize no one had to authorize it. That baby belonged in my arms simply because we are. When I tapped back into that deep sense of belonging I grew up with, my floral work changed. The paintings became rooted, calm, immovable. Not because I had finally earned my place, but because I remembered it had never been up for negotiation. Where I belong cannot be taken from me, no matter how many times I fail.